Hi everyone, Patrick here. Hand launching and hand catching your drone can sometimes be so cool because immediately we can take advantage of the moment we come across some excellent terrain that we want to throw up the drone and off we go. Now the main reason why people want to hand launch and hand catch their drone generally is because the terrain is not the best. There's dust, there's sand, it's uneven, and there's bushes. There's all sorts of carry on which will lead us to want to learn how to hand catch and hand land our drone safely. In my personal experience, whenever I had my first drone, second or third flight, bringing it into land, a man appears seemingly out of nowhere with his dog, and the dog starts to attack the drone. That's when I decided I need to learn how to hand launch and hand catch. This is where hand launching and hand catching comes in very handy, and we want to become really good at it. At the beginning though, I think it's fair to say, it is a little bit daunting and sometimes even scary. Why? Because we want to protect the tips of our fingers. Not like what I did.
So I guess you're not concentrating.
Still makes me cringe. My very first tip for you would be really focus on what you're doing. The accident that I had was basically because I was trying to focus on too many things at once. It is super easy to get distracted. Now admittedly, the more you do it, the easier it gets, and perhaps complacency sets in. That way, my first tip continues to be really focus when you're launching and really focus when you're landing, and you should never have an issue. Take your time, let the drone do the work, keep that arm outstretched, make sure that it's above your head. Basic, but sometimes easy to forget. If the first tip is to focus on what you're doing, the second is obviously to watch those fingers around the props. So when you're launching, you just want to be holding it delicately from underneath, above the head, as far out as you can, and let the drone do the work in taking off. To launch the drone, traditionally, it's just put the two sticks into the center and it will obviously turn on and off it'll go. If you have the drone in one hand and you have the controller in the other, in this case you're probably better just using the takeoff button on the left hand screen and the drone will just take off by itself. Important is to immediately make sure that it's going downwind, not towards you, because there could be accidents that way. And obviously as soon as it's taken off slightly above your head, leave it there hovering, gather your thoughts again, and then off you go. One thing to consider at the moment of takeoff is when you are still holding the drone carefully, there could be a certain amount of resistance that starts on behalf of the drone. Don't resist it, as it will start to fight you and you'll start to feel that pressure of it wanting to take off, and this is where panic can set in. So above all, keep calm. Fourthly, when you do bring the drone into land, it is always best practice to leave it about 5 feet above your head and then to begin to put your hand underneath it nice and carefully. With the controller in the other hand, you're just going to press the left stick in towards the middle to begin the landing process. Now the drone will tend, of course, to resist that because it senses your hand, but you just have to bear with it and just let it continue to come down carefully and to rest on your hand or to grab it carefully. The worst thing to do is to reach up and grab it immediately, because then it starts to resist your motion, and that could do some damage to the motors if you're not careful, and also again create a little bit of panic if you're not used to it. So it probably will drift a little, but then it'll stabilize and then you can continue to land it. Perfect catch, I hope. This goes without saying that you want to wait until the propellers come to a total stop before you then move the drone or start to pack it away. That kind of leads me on to the fifth and final point, which is be aware of the downward sensors and the effect it has on your hand when it's coming in to land. And this is where panic can ensue, especially if You're not used to just bringing it in to hand catch. This will come with time, so you do want to practice it. Some drones will let you turn off the downward sensors coming into land, but I don't think it's really necessary. It's all about practice, and it is pretty cool, as I said, to be able to hand launch and hand catch. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it the old like and thumbs up, and subscribe if it's the sort of content that you like. And thank you for sticking around to the end. I'll link a card up here for the actual video where I did end up nearly chopping the tops of my fingers off. Thank you very much, and bye bye.